Billy, hang on. Everybody.
I got it. Hang on. Let's get to there. Okay, here we go.
Yo, everybody. I'm making ribs right now. Which sauce? Pick one.
None of those. Those are sucky sauces.
Oh, called it out. From Canada, called it out.
Come on, man.
I really hope someone
Make
clipped
your
that.
own.
Best show ever. So Twitch is beginning to position themselves, the liability away from themselves and towards the users lately, okay? And this is freaking out a lot of streamers and it's freaking out a lot of DJs because a lot of us are playing music that is under copyright, okay? There are people that own the rights to this music, all right?
It's not the copyright, it's the distribution.
It's we'll get into that, absolutely. So Twitch today at 2 p.m. said that they are going to be holding a seminar to educate all of us on the details of copyright on Twitch. And they first thing they did was they posted, I'm sorry, I'm jumping around a little bit. Let me get my notes up here. They posted their DMCA guidelines. Okay, so I'm gonna get this link up here. And this is stuff that we've already read. You guys have been seeing this since it happened in June initially for us who are post-COVID streamers. But in the DMCA guidelines, it talks basically straight up about DJs. And it says that you should not be performing music that is not yours as a radio broadcast. It's in their terms of service and it is in their guidelines for DJs. Now, the hypocrisy in this is that Twitch is actively partnering DJs who are basically violating the letter of their terms of service, okay? And so we are stuck as DJs in this weird gray area where we want to legally stream music, even if it includes paying a premium in order to legally stream licensed music, and we don't have the option to do it. And our only option right now is to roll the dice and hope that Twitch doesn't hit us with a DMCA takedown notice, or even worse, a copyright DMCA strike. And I'll explain the difference. And ultimately leading in a repeat offender permanent ban from Twitch. Okay, that is the ultimate offense, right?
Damn.
Yep.
Now Twitch is telling you right now, anybody who has music on their VODs or clips, this just was announced on the 20th, y'all, yesterday. Anybody who has VODs or clips in their Twitch account that contains music that could possibly be stricken under DMCA. In other words, if you played music that wasn't yours to any degree, whether it's all the way underground to the latest pop single, right? What's hot right now is Justin Bieber, Benny Blanco, whatever the hell the new stuff is.
I only play Justin Bieber and Lil Dicky. It's all I play.
Sure.
I just play Billy Lane at it. Like
that'll get you muted for sure, because I'm coming after you.
That's guaranteed right
Because I'm coming after you.
No, but so my point is that Twitch has us in a weird limbo right now. Okay, and a lot of us we found Twitch and it has been a blessing for us because we completely lost our livelihoods, our careers, left with a skill set with no job market because the entire job market is offline right now, right? And so. Before, I see Strobe really wanted to chime in, and we'll get to you, Strobe, I promise. But see, so right now, we're going to get into the details of what this means specifically for DJing and for DJs who are on Twitch. Do we need to bounce on Twitch? Do we not need to bounce on Twitch? What should our reaction be from this is what we're going to talk about. Strobe, you posted something earlier on Facebook today, and I'd like you to talk about it a little bit. What is your opinion on Twitch taking this stance in regards to DMCA and saying, look, we're offering you this creator camp. We're explaining to you what DMCA is so you know what it is. Oh, on top of it, we're offering this new service called Soundtrack. So if you want to play music in the background of your streams, we're giving you a free service for that as well. Strobe, chime in with what you thought on that.
I mean, this is not anything new to any DJ. Correct. I mean, before Mixcloud, you know, it didn't matter where you put it, it was getting taken down. So, I mean, I don't think there's anybody in the chat or in this that is a DJ anywhere that doesn't understand that we're all playing records that we don't own. I mean, even records, if I played an entire set of records that I produced, I still, in a way, don't own them because the people who distribute them determine whether I'm allowed to play it. So
Correct.
I've had, I did a set of all my own records that were DJ Strobe, produced by DJ Strobe, even released on my own label and got taken down, from Facebook. So there's no, theory that, what we're doing doesn't fall under that. Absolutely it does. And every time we play, we're taking that risk. However, the fact is that right now, they are taking the VODs down, and actually I need to take the rest of mine down, but we haven't, at least I haven't heard of anybody that's had their streams interrupted while they're DJing. Whether that will change or not, I don't know, but I had a lot of people coming at me this morning with like, oh, that's the end of it. They're taking your streams. And there has to be made a difference between the DMCA, strikes and takedowns of the VODs versus what happens on Facebook and Instagram, where they just shut you down while you're streaming. And right now that's not happening. It could. And yes, Mixcloud, you can get away with that, but you can't make money, and there's no monetization or community, integration into that. So right now,
should also clarify too that Mixcloud does not have VODs. Their archives are audio only.
Audio only.
Yep.
So, right now this is the only viable option, and it, it would suck. It would be so 2020 to have that happen to Twitch. But right now, my hope is that, because they've partnered with Billboard, because, they haven't been so against DJs, that there will be either some kind of way to migrate into what Mixcloud has, or, find a way to say, hey, look, man, take the VODs down, but, you can stream, that's my hope, for 2020.
So
who's got eyes
on
on Bezos?
I have two thoughts on this. I don't think it's gonna come to like doomsday where all of us get our channels blocked. I just think that they're making too much money off of us to be like, this is just, you have to be a little business minded about this. Yep. They're monetizing us, DJs. We've brought so many people to the platform. It's in their best interest to find a way to work with us.
Absolutely.
Also, YouTube found a way to do it. They just end up muting it, and then anything that's monetized like ad wise, all the ad revenue goes to whoever the distributor is. So they could do something like that where we don't get the ad revenue. We can still earn our subs, all of that stuff, but another portion could possibly go to the labels or the distributors. And also, Twitch is owned by Bezos. It's owned by Amazon.
They got deep pockets, baby.
That might be the most powerful man on the planet right now. Like, you have to think again. Like, you think he's really gonna lose that on money?
But that also makes him the biggest target for labels.
Yo, so can I ask every streamer here? Would you not be willing to pay $10, $20 a month to be
already said
more?
Every day, all day, man, right there.
Yeah, all day.
The moment there's a license, I'm in.
There's money. There's money lost
because we all want the artists to produce these records to get paid. We all want that.
Right.
Yeah.
None of us don't want
100.
that.
And we want to support them by playing their music so people can hear artists they've never had the chance to hear before. That's what our job is DJs.
And that point has been made clear. Let me tell you that right now, with a lot of the record label reps that I speak with and things like that in the industry, that is made very clear. The problem is actually executing this utopian scenario, because now you're talking about licensing all content from all over the world. And that's actually really, really difficult to do because everybody is trying to get their piece of the pie, right? Yeah. And when we're talking about licensing music, we're talking, like Aiden was saying earlier, and what Strobe was saying earlier, we're talking about rights holders, plural, right? I get muted for playing my own songs on Twitch because the music, a couple of years ago, I got really adamant on wanting people to just ask their phone to play music that I made. I was tired of just selling my music to DJs. I wanted to sell my music to regular people. That makes sense. And so I started putting my music on these Apple Musics and Spotify's and things like that, where you actually had to have real publishing on your music in order to have it out there. And because my music has real publishing behind it, it's ultimately owned by Sony AMG or whatever. And so because I'm signed to Sony indirectly as an independent, Sony is going to flag my music every single time that my shit gets played on Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, anything, right? And so I have to dispute those as the artist, and I'm in dispute right now for my music, and I'll let you guys know how that works out. But so it's not so cut and dry, and there is something broken in the music industry. And the idea of being able to have a blanket license that we can all subscribe to would be perfect, right? You log into Serato, you log into your account that gives you the ability to do it, and you play the songs. Maybe it has to be from the cloud so that they have the exact tag of every single song that you've played and have the ability to give that streaming revenue to the individual artist. Maybe there's going to be some kind of accounting that needs to take place in order to be able to do something as the logistics needed in order to do this. Now, I invited somebody on, and he's not here, which is fine. He wasn't feeling very well, but my homie, Alex Amaro, used to work at a place called Dubset. And Dubset was big on this before Twitch. They were all about trying to license DJ mixes for DJs so that they could legally sell their mixes in, I'm going to show my age, in like a Tower Records, and still be able to do it in a way that still pays all of the publishing to the individual artists in their mixtapes. And they were working on this before any of this was going on, and they were trying to do it digitally during the content ID meltdown of YouTube, because YouTube went through this like 6 years ago, right? And they were not able, they were able to sign most of them, but because they were able to sign, I think it was maybe UMG or one of the big ones held out, their business failed. Because you need all content in order for something like that to work, or else you're going to be dividing your subscriber base out to people who like to subscribe to this kind of thing. They're going to get this kind of music, and people who like to subscribe to this kind of thing are going to like this kind of music. And now you're putting the user in a position where they're going to have to subscribe to multiple music distribution services in order to legally play the music that they want as creatives, and that's going to be way out of hand. More than $20 a month. I'll put it that way. So we're in a weird growing pains right now, and I hate to hog the mic. It's not what I'm trying to do, but there is definitely something about to change.
It's your show, Billy. Hog the mic.
It is.
Billy, what do you think is the future for all of this then? I'm just curious for your thoughts on it.
Sure. I think that Twitch is actively working towards getting a broadcaster's license right now.
Same. That's what I think.
Yep. And I think that they're going to go the way of Mixcloud. And your clips and your VODs are going to be off by default. When you create a new Twitch account, your clips and VODs are going to be off by default. And you actually have to choose to turn those on in order to take that risk as somebody who could possibly be violating copyright. And then once that system is in place, then Twitch will have the ability to, under the broadcaster's license, broadcast anything live without it getting taken down under a DMCA violation. And there will not be a VOD or a clip available on their site, so that they're adhering to the rights holders of not doing it.
Does anybody here know what Mixcloud is paying to have those rights? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, if Mixcloud did it, we know it can be done.
Right.
Mixcloud's last purchase as a business was an evaluation of $11 million. They're small potatoes. Just to put it into perspective.
That much money, though.
Just to put it into perspective, Mixer. You guys remember Mixer? Remember Mixer that died earlier this year?
Yeah.
Mixer was the Mixcloud for gamers. They were trying to actively get people over to their network, saying we're better because we have all these features that are exclusive to us, and Twitch sucks. That's what Mixcloud is doing now. Mixer, or was it Mixler? Mixer was owned by Microsoft, and they spent $30 million on 2 streamers just to have them on their channel alone. So $30 million just to have an influencer, and they tanked, or an $11 million company of an entire valuation. What do you think might happen to that company? They're a small fish, and they're not the first people to step up to the plate and try to take on Bezos and this Twitch giant, and it's not gonna happen, in my opinion. They're just gonna get swallowed.
Yeah, but do you really think Bezos wants to take on the feds? Because that's what's happening.
No, Bezos doesn't.
That's when he went into Congress with and said. So, I mean, I hate to say it and be devil's advocate, but I'm going to be it. I mean, they could say, well, Twitch is what, 1% of Amazon?
Sliver. Not even 1%, bro.
Okay, let's just close it down.
Yep.
Let's just close it down. They could hypothetically say that.
They could absolutely
It's
cut
not
their
something
losses.
any of us want to hear, but they could just go, "Hey, this is corporate America. We don't care. You're causing all of this legal infractions. We're working with the post office. That's why they're on Sunday. Amazon delivers on Sundays with the post office." They could say, "Oh, federal government, fine. We'll just get rid of this problem for you."
Yeah, back in 22.
It's called risk management.
Right?
That would be very 2020. That would fit it perfectly with everything that's been happening.
I'm not trying to be all doomsdayer and scare anybody, but
it's
happen.
But if it happens, it happens.
Yeah,
You know, like then at that point, it's like if it happens, it happens. A lot of us, fortunately, a lot of us haven't been on Twitch for that long. I'm more worried for the people that might get struck down that have been on for like 10 years. Like
8 years, 10
they really
years,
have a lot more to
Something
lose.
worth mentioning too, for anybody
Absolutely.
who's been streaming on Twitch for like several years now, a lot of them have been banking their clips as memories, right?
Yeah.
So you have like 6 years of your life stored as memories that you had no idea that one day you're going to have to go through all of that and download or archive in any way that you possibly can
in 3 days.
in 3 days.
Yeah, in 3 days.
Yeah, and these poor
8
streamers,
years, you know,
who have all these incredible moments that sometimes define their channel. They became famous because of that moment that happened on their channel, right? They became Twitch famous because something happened, and now they have their legacy because of it. They have to pull that off of their channel or create something new, a new kind of VOD that skates around the possible DMCA claim. That's a big thing to ask of your user base. That's a really big thing to ask of your user base, honestly. So I'm not impressed with that, really, at all.
The thing is, like, the bottom line is, I'm not gonna freak out right now and be like, "That's it, you know, that's it. It's a wrap on Twitch."
No,
like,
absolutely not.
No,
It's
absolutely
not. That's not what they're saying right now. I think they're just trying to protect everybody, protect themselves, protect us, while they're working out whatever they're working out.
Yep.
I think we're fine for a while, and then there will come a resolution, and we'll have enough notice to know what that resolution is going to be. So anyone that's freaking out right now, I think that's very premature to freak out about it at this
Clickbait.
Yeah. I mean, my hope is that whatever they do, if it does come to a point where they're like, look, you know,
Uh-oh.
that does the way what SoundCloud did. It's like you wake up and your entire channel's gone. You know, that it's just you have no notice. Yeah, I mean, granted, we all got the strike and stuff, but I mean, it's just like there's no like, look, man, you got to download or it's gone. You know, so I hope that they do give you notice
On YouTube. For me, I ran a 24/7 station over there. It was perfectly fine for a year straight. It was on a Linux server, no issues. And then one day, it's just strike. And then after that, I can't connect anymore. And then about a week later, it was banned. That was it. And it went from being just no problem at all to literally about 3 emails, and I don't have an account over there anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nuts.
Yeah, you get a repeat offender, you're done, and they don't play around because they're covering their own ass. They don't want their site to get taken down, right?
And I had it fully automated, so I wasn't paying attention. I was out on vacation, come back from vacation, I'm like, and that was that.
Yeah, and that's what Devin Nash was talking about. Billy got me into him, and he was saying, this is the major problem with Twitch at this moment. And he'll show you some videos and everything of what's going to cover. But the major problem is that there's no system in place right now. That's why when you look and you see that your VODs are muted and everybody's like, oh, well, the unmuted VODs are okay. Well, actually, that's not true. The unmuted VODs are actually the ones that will get you 3 strikes and you're out instantaneously.
Yep. Because
their algorithm isn't picking up what it needs to, like, say, with YouTube. And if you guys remember back in, like, when YouTube's growing pain stage, they almost got shut down too.
Almost did, dude. And you guys remember when YouTube had music? Like, YouTube is not a haven for music like it was even 6 years ago, right?
So they used to do that, and they had to go in and they had to build this system from the ground up that basically monetized when people play the clips. And so, or music or whatever, or in cases like PFM or Good Looking Records, they won't even, they'll just mute your whole set if you have them in there.
Yep.
Because they just don't want that music on at all. But that's because Looking Good Records and PFM said to YouTube, hey, anytime you see our song, flag it. We don't care about if they want us to monetize it. We just don't want that for our image. And, you know, some DJ playing their song or what have you. So that's where it's really interesting, because if Twitch would have put that system in it a long time ago, then it wouldn't have been as much of a deal as it is with these 3 days and 3 strikes and you're out policy that the letter is coming out with. And that's why there's a lot of people that aren't alarmists that are like, oh, well, now I'm worried. You know, a lot of other times they weren't worried, but this is the time where those people are actually like, oh, okay, well, now we're going to download all of our clips or get rid of all of our VODs or do all of these things, because now this time actually, okay, this matters.
So everybody here's clearing their VODs. Nobody who.
I'm clearing my VODs.
I just did while we're in the chat.
Yeah.
I was about to do it. I was like, that's rude. I'm not going to do it.
Check it out.
Oh wait, what are you guys talking about? I'm hella high.
So wait,
the guy. I was just sitting there.
Is that Kenny or Aiden?
It's Kenny. It's Kenny.
The guy.
I'm hella high.
Much love, man.
I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not high yet.
Wait, so you guys are deleting your videos off your page?
Yeah,
Bashful Music makes a very good point. Twitch isn't just an American platform. You start talking about ASCAP, BMI. Those are all American things. RIAA. Those are American things. Every region, well, most every region has their own version of that. And that's part of the complication when it comes to music licensing. And another thing I want to add too, the reason why it's so restrictive towards your clips and your VODs is because once you sync video to audio and you put that out into the world digitally, that is a whole other license than simply playing a song. Okay. That's called sync licensing. And sync licensing is so, you think music licensing is far behind? Sync licensing is so far behind. It's written for people who want to put songs in commercials. It's written for people who want to put songs in movies. It's not written for content creators who are putting songs in their creations still to this day. And if you want to get a sync license for music that you put into your stuff, and you're trying to make it like a top tier artist, like you want to put some hit song and you're going to pay tens of thousands of dollars for that license just for that one song, which is why there are things like sync libraries for creators out there with, like, you know, Muzak stuff. You know, won't confirm or deny that I produce that stuff for internet creators who want music in the background that is royalty free for them. Okay. That's called sync license, sync music. Really is what a lot of them call it, right? And and so when you start talking about adding video to an audio and presenting that is a whole other license, and it's actually circumstantial based on every single instance of it being used. And so that license will not exist anytime soon. Like we're way a long ways until that can happen. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to say that earlier, I think it was yesterday or maybe even today, one of the original creators of Twitch posted on his Twitter with links to apps to download and delete all your VODs. So that does exist. And I just wanted to say along the lines that you do, Billy. My ex-roommate from New York runs Bing for Microsoft, and he'll like hit me. He's like, "Hey man, we have a new ad or we have a new podcast, and we don't want to pay, $20,000 for Daft Punk. Can you give me a Daft Punk record and I'll do it?" And it's like, yeah, he'll pay me $5,000 instead of them having to pay $25,000 like
exactly
perpetual license. And so I do a lot of that as well, and it's a great thing to be able to do. But you're right. It's like, people don't think it's like, oh yeah, this new Pepsi Cola ad, has like, Wiz Khalifa in it. They're going to do that. But like, if, a smaller company wants to use something, they're just going to get somebody to make something that sounds like it, or they're going to pull from one of those libraries.
Right. Depending on how big they are, it's either in-house or they're going to Fiverr or they're doing something, right? Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
Hang on. Wait. Bing is still a thing? Is like Bing like partnered with Ask Jeeves? Is that still a thing?
Bing is Microsoft's version of Google.
Google, yeah, it's still a thing.
Oh,
Yep.
it's still a thing.
Bing
I'm not
and,
saying-
and web crawler and Lycos. You guys
Yeah.
know.
Web
sorry.
crawler.
Web crawlers still around?
I'm all about Lycos.
Oh wow.
Hey man, don't forget about what was it? Netscape.
Alta Vista. Oh shit, who's it?
Hey, come on.
Wait, I'm gonna throw that one up. That one's going up on the screen. There you go.
Dude, is Ask Jeeves still around?
Right? Exactly. That's what he said.
Lycos the one with the dog?
Yeah, Lycos is a
You know,
dog.
Lycos was the dog, man. What you guys know about that shit? We're showing our age, y'all.
Yeah, it's all about like Metacrawler and GeoCities.
Oh, GeoCities.
Oh,
my
GeoCities.
God. I had
GeoCities.
GeoCities.
We could post one MP3 to trade with people.
Right?
That was crazy.
Right? So, different time. A different time.
DC++.
You know what's funny is I've mentioned this before, and this is a little bit off topic, but I've mentioned this before. This chat interface, the chat room that's going on right now, and the Discord that's going on, it really does remind me of that era, like pre-MySpace social network internet.
Yep.
And it's I'm not mad at it. If anybody who's
love
from
it,
my
man.
generation. This is reminding me of the internet from my 20s, and I'm like way down.
Yeah.
Like this is like
Yep.
it's so awesome. So, any
You're
case,
young, Billy.
yeah.
Remember
I'm
we don't have to go
older
to
than you,
Target to
trust
get a
me.
new disc to
Wait, no,
update
you're not.
it.
I'm 42.
Me too.
Shit, you are.
Answer to life, baby.
42 next
I'm
week
the
or in a couple
grandpa
weeks.
here.
He's
Answer
78,
to life,
baby.
but what is the
78.
question?
You know it.
No, I'm the grandpa.
1980. Wait, Strobe, how old are
80.
you?
I am 51, 69.
All you Reagan
Crushing
babies.
it.
All you
Yep.
Reagan babies.
Damn.
Yep.
Man, you and A1 Voodoo.
Yep. March 1969.
Big up to all my Carter babies.
It's a March, baby.
Big up. So I'm gonna go through. We're doing great on time, by the way. I'm gonna go through 4 frequently asked questions. Now, I thank you very much. I want to thank No Use for Anger, Catch 22. I want to thank Catch 22 for helping me out because we were watching the creator camp today. I don't know if you guys saw. Twitch offered this creator camp today at 2 p.m. Pacific, and it explained DMCA law, explained copyright. If you guys want to check that out, that's amazing. I also have an old YouTube from when this first happened back in was it May that I did that?
Yeah.
And it's on YouTube. I went off for 2 fucking hours straight with no guests, just explaining DMCA, and it's got like a few hundred views, which is kind of badass for my YouTube. I'm a little bit of a mini flex there. So if anybody wants to learn about DMCA law, check all that shit out. But what we're talking about now is the 4 frequently asked questions, and these are great questions. So let me see if I can get this working correctly real quick. Okay, I hope this works, guys. Let's see if we can. I need everybody who's in the Zoom chat. You're not going to be able to hear it in the Zoom call, so you're going to be needing to put this on your
Yeah. Twitch.
watch the Twitch, and mute yourself if you need to. All right, here we go. Coming in hot with our first frequently asked question. Oh, something went wrong. Oh, the clip is no longer available.
Oh no! They took them all down.
Oh, clip that one.
They must have got some licensed music.
Everybody got scared and is deleting all their stuff.
Airstrike with the win on the comment.
Airstrike had it ready.
Even Twitch is deleting their VODs right now.
Nobody is safe.
Check the other
man,
ones. Are
that's
they all
awesome.
downloaded?
Okay, well, luckily, even though I was lazy and didn't download them, I at least typed out the questions, so I knew what the questions were going to be. The first question
That's amazing.
is: can you get a DMCA takedown notice on an actual live stream? Not. Let me do this. Let's do this kind of fancy. Can we do this a little bit fancy? Okay, let's see here.
Not taking my shirt off.
No, not that.
Yeah, they clipped them all.
DMCA on a live stream.
He's gonna
Question
put
mark?
it over.
Where do you disable the that setting?
Here.
Where
It's
it-
it's in your dashboard. It's in your dashboard, and then settings, and then channel. I think.
channel?
Yep. Channel.
So the question is, say you have deleted your VODs and you've deleted your clips, and you're a DJ who was playing music that could possibly get you stricken down for a DMCA if your VODs were on. Are you now completely protected against a DMCA claim on your actual live stream? The answer is no. We are always subject to a DMCA claim on everything we do, including and not limited to the music that we play during our stream. The only thing is that nobody is actively monitoring the live streams right now. Nobody is narking on us right now. So we are getting away with it.
all of you.
So we're getting away with it. Okay.
That's funked up.
Yes, that's funked up. That is funked up. So I don't want to instill fear in anybody, but we do need to call out the elephant in the room. Somebody's got to, right? We got to talk about this shit. We can't just.
I'm not that fat,
right?
I have a question. First and foremost, did anybody get a letter? Chat or in here?
I didn't get one either.
No letter yet.
But I had parts. Notice on the top of my, I'm sure all of you have it, but when I log into Twitch in the back end, there's a banner that says something about new DMCA rules, and you can click on it, and it wants you to click on it to get like more info.
Okay. Yep.
No letter was sent, but it's on our back end on Twitch.
I'll read to you what it says in the letter.
Can you send it to me, Billy? Because I have someone in the chat that is married to an attorney that deals with a lot of this stuff that can look over it.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through a long conversation right now.
Shout out to Chris, by the way, in the chat.
I'll find it in just a second. I found somebody. Now, this is not exactly a 100%.
I put the message from Twitch in chat.
You did. Perfect. Yep. There it is. Okay. Yep. There's the message. And
I have the links as well if you guys want the links.
There you go. Thank you. I appreciate everybody's group effort here because I'm scrambling right now.
Man.
This is what's on the back end for everyone.
That's the back end message when you log in right now.
And the links I posted are what they gave in the creator, whatever that thing was called, creator something today when they were listing all the questions.
Does anybody, because I mean, I didn't get a letter though.
There was, okay, I'm trying to find the actual letter screenshot. I can't find it. It's too far back in this conversation.
Sure, I'll find it.
There was a post to Reddit, which is obviously not a very credible source. But it did have the verbiage per line, according to Devin Nash. We'll plug him again. Actually, somebody shout out Devin Nash. That guy's such an amazing channel. Yeah, do it right now.
Yeah.
Like that. Someone needs to shout him out, please. I'm gonna get up my screen here. Okay. This guy is like the all-out authority on. Did I just do? Oh, wrong one. Sorry, Devin. Jesus
Damn
Christ. You. Yeah, I know. Hang on a second here.
Those fat fingers.
It's this new keyboard.
That's why you're not doing Mario
just gave me a
He's
follow.
working with two companies, and there's.
I just followed everybody. Sorry.
Aiden.
Thank you.
Oh, I need to update the dynamic follow buttons, don't I? I'm lagging.
Who's saying my name?
I've got it off screen. I'm just getting the audio cues over here. I'm looking around like, what was that? What's going on?
It's me.
Yeah, now there's
well, thank you very much.
That are working on
That's
live
not working.
Mario.
All right, let's try this.
Still hear me?
What's that?
You guys still hear me at all?
I hear you. Yes, I do hear you.
You're good.
Yeah, there's two. Devin Nash. Like I watched him for about 5 hours yesterday and 5 hours today before that creator dashboard. But basically, he said there's two companies that are working on the live algorithm to search live things. So it's in the works.
Oh, it's coming.
Whether RIAA picks it up or they send it somewhere overseas or whatever, it's physically in the works.
Let's go on to the next question. So the answer to this one is yes, it could happen, but the full answer is nobody currently is monitoring live streams, so it's not going to happen yet. That's the official answer, and we don't know if it's ever going to happen because we're still in the what's called the early action phase from Twitch. When we first started reporting on this months ago, it was more of the reaction phase, right? They were responding to all of these things happening to them, and they needed to figure out their game plan. Well, they figured out their game plan, and they're starting to roll out their action phase, and you've been seeing it. Strobe was talking about it a second ago. Twitch is actively developing relationships with the music industry. You see them sponsoring the Rolling Hard Festival. You see Insomniac on here. You see all of these channels that have exclusive partnership deals where they are only streaming their events on Twitch. And Twitch is not only paying for that to happen, they're paying part of the production costs in order to facilitate that. So they're really actually giving money to the music industry right now and not putting themselves in a position as like a pirate trying to steal from the music industry. They're like, no, we see COVID fucked up the live events. We see everyone's fleeing here for refuge. We obviously see the income increase. The revenue streams are real. And we want to do the right thing for both the rights holders and for the live events industry. We want to do the right thing for everybody. And I see Twitch doing that right now. And it's really smart of them to make themselves a friend of the music industry before they go into actual licensing negotiations, because it gives them what's called status quo. It says, look, this is everything that we're doing for you. This is everything that we've been doing for you. This is what we've been providing in reaction to what you've been saying. Cut us some slack, give us a sweet deal so that we can pay to make this thing happen and keep, one of the few positive sides of the events industry afloat right now. And I don't
make it right.
Yeah. I honestly think that that's what is in Twitch's game plan right now. And their actions suggest that. And they're very careful with their wording. If you see, they're super careful with their wording on a lot of stuff. Everybody watch that creator camp video. I know there's a lot of really basic information on it, and it gets really dry. It gets really college seminar. But you got to sit through it and take the notes. And there's a lot of stuff you can pick up from that.
Yeah, Billy, Josh could probably talk a little bit about what was that thing yesterday, Josh? What's his face doing the very
Jericho. Yeah, Jericho was the dude that was he was actually on Zach's. I know we watched it. He was on Four Color Zach's stream, and they were just chatting about whatever. I think they're legitimate friends, and a lot of people in that chat with Jericho, who's like he's a host of the Twitch reality show that's on.
He was one of the hosts of this thing too, right?
Oh, was he? I didn't catch that one.
Yes, he was.
And Zach even said something along the lines of like, if it happens, you're going to be seeing like, Four Color Zach, bag of peanuts, because I'll be done.
Right.
But at the same time, it's the same thing you just said, like that with one hand, they're protecting themselves with their verbiage. And with the other hand, they're really pushing Twitch music,
right?
Which it's its own thing that launched pretty much with the same of COVID.
It has its own header at the top of the damn screen. Yes. Like if you go to twitch.tv, you've got just chatting, esports, and music. And music was just fucking added to the thing. Like it's one of the three. You know what I mean?
I happened to catch when it happened that this gentleman, Tracy Chan, who was the man who created YouTube Music, he left YouTube Music and came to Twitch and started Twitch Music. He was hired to head that up. So I follow him on Twitter, and he's not very like, he's not a mouthpiece for Twitch. It's his independent thing, but he does like a lot of things. He's very, very, very pro DJ. So he's always like, I love seeing all these DJs on Twitch. This is amazing for Twitch music and blah, blah, blah. So it's that sort of like dating somebody who's bipolar. You're kind of like, well,
that sucks.
I kind of think what they're doing, to be honest, is I think while they're in these interim phases of actually working out the legalities, if you've ever worked for a company, they have to send out certain memos to watch your own back.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean they're not working on a solution. It just means that in the meantime, this is just something they have to do to look like they're trying to follow the rules while they're creating the new rules.
Every letter in that letter has 5 lawyers that have read over it and gone over it thoroughly,
signed off on
and
it.
And anything that marketing
doesn't have the resources to like start working some of this stuff out. Like you just don't understand Twitch very well. Right. There is a comment though that I am seeing in the chat, which I think is interesting, from Beat Basher Music. Isn't the real issue also stemming from broadcasting stations frustrated with losing market share to Twitch/YouTube, with the major media companies with stakes in broadcasting? And do you think that might be some of it? Do you think like
No,
radio?
actually, I
hear
can-
a lot of people saying, I don't listen to Spotify anymore. I don't listen to the radio anymore. Do you think
So
any
I
of
can
these people...
speak to a little bit of that just on the back end because I work for a broadcasting company, and I was drilling down the matrix on it and asking, how far, is Twitch even showing up yet? It is not even a percent point yet.
Good.
As far as like the viewing audience. So it's not that aspect, which is interesting because I thought it would be by now.
So what's the highest percentage point in that category?
Domestic radio still is the most listened to format out there. And particularly morning show and afternoon drive time. More so than television, more so than anything.
Spotify and shit?
Yep. Domestic radio still has the highest reach per capita. And then after that, it goes into all different kinds of things. And the music industry obviously is not seeing revenue as much revenue as they were from things like physical album sales. So they're aggressively targeting any avenue right now. So the music label doesn't give a shit about Twitch. But that is a very good point, acknowledging competition. This is very much a competition for broadcast, commercial broadcast. But I honestly, Twitch is too small of a fish for them to be worried about right now, in my opinion. Yeah, go ahead.
So one thing that may or may not be a factor is, with YouTube, Facebook, and everything, the thing with Twitch is it's owned by Amazon, but Amazon also distributes music and movies, and that gives them a little more leverage. Because I remember like when Christmas albums come out, like Target's like, we want this exclusive, or Amazon's like, if you don't give us this exclusive, we won't sell any Mariah Carey. So they have a little more leverage maybe in this to say, listen, you want to sell your music on our site, we want that deal, whereas YouTube can't say, well, we, are selling your music. Facebook isn't selling their music. Instagram isn't selling, but Amazon is. They are a major, retail for a lot of the music. So they don't want to.
This could very much reestablish Amazon Music in a new position in the music industry.
Yes,
agreed.
And
agree.
Because
Exactly.
obviously Apple Music and Spotify being number one, Apple Music being number two, and then you have Tidal and blah blah blah, everything else underneath it.
Yep.
These are the industry leaders when it comes to music streaming revenue, and Amazon is not even in that picture. And Amazon originally started as an MP3 pay-per download, just like the iTunes Music Store, and they honestly have kind of kept that model since, right? And just recently moving into Prime as a streaming model and providing Amazon Music MP3 as a streaming service. So yes, this could very much be a way to reinvent Amazon Music. And so, this obviously what we're talking about here in this group has to have come across the roundtable at Twitch by now, right?
Yeah.
Certainly.
So
100.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got all these people being partner. I mean, 8,000, whatever. I mean, they're 1,400 subs a month. I mean, that's not a blip. I mean, I got 30 subs, but someone with 1,400 subs is gonna make, like, these people are real contenders, and you don't want to lose that.
Right.
So.
And also one thing to recognize too, when Twitch is addressing music, it's really easy to think that they're just talking about DJs because we're kind of in our own little bubble, right?
Right.
But when they're addressing music, they're actually addressing streamers first. We fall 16th on the list. We are less than 10% of their entire traffic on Twitch. So their biggest concern is Grand Theft Auto 5 people who are playing radio stations. Their biggest concern is these top tier streamers on League of Legends playing stuff in the background. Fortnite while they're in queue, they've got their favorite Travis Scott song playing, and something funny happens, the clip goes down, 2 years later, they're getting popped, right? That's their main target, right? So DJs don't fall into the category until well down the list, right?
Oh, so we can just keep doing what we do?
In a lot of ways we can, especially if once you're in the music category, like somebody like you, Kenny. So if you're in the music category and you're playing music that is not necessarily flying above the radar of DMCA, right?
Yep.
Then you have a less likeliness of being caught. Now, and I said this earlier, everybody is playing a game of risk management. Amazon is weighing out the risk. DJs are weighing out the risk. We are all, I don't want to say we're breaking the law, because we don't want to say we're breaking the law because none of us want to break the law, but we are weighing out the actions.
We fought the law.
Break the law.
We don't want the law to win, though.
We don't advocate breaking the law.
You do know what the secret sauce to all this DJing-ness is, right? It's crime.
It's crime.
There you go.
I shot that sheriff.
Wait, here's a super funny story. When I moved to New York in '93, my first real job was at Sam Goody in Herald Square, and when they
worked at Sam Goody.
Yes, when the lady interviewed me, she's like, "Well, what do you do?" I'm a DJ. She goes, "Oh, so you're a criminal?" Straight up.
We're still criminals.
Hey, guys, fun story. I was actually a criminal when I worked for Sam Goody. So I was a key holder. I was a manager.
Oh, that's full of stealing.
I was like 18 or 19 years old. So I was like, this is like 90, 99, 98-ish. And I worked at a small strip mall thing. And I was a key holder for Sam Goody. And I was opening the store. So I opened the store. And I would go into the store early and like take like 20 DVDs a day and take it back out to my car and then just go back to work.
Oh, wow.
I'm a dickhead. I'm a thief.
No, that's a lie. You were stealing.
That would probably explain why you're. That would probably explain why you're over there boiling them
passed the
fucking
statute of limitations, or did you just admit your crime on camera?
Allegedly. I allegedly
boiling them ribs. What's wrong with you?
Oh, yes.
Guys, I have to run. I was supposed to leave an hour ago, and you guys were too much fun. But
thank you for hanging.
amazing conversation. I'll watch the rest of it later, but enjoy your chat. I'll see you guys later.
Miss Ninja, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon. Mario Kart sooner than later.
Hey,
she got criminals and was like, I'm fucking out.
Start talking about crime. Ninja's gone.
I'll have no part in this.
For real though, I gotta go. Bye guys.
Like, this is video Billy.
Oh shit.
Hey, Aiden, Billy was clipping that the whole time you were talking, man. I watched him the whole time he was over there clipping that.
I set a stream marker. We're golden.
Hang on. Send it to the Sam Goody headquarters.
Yeah.
Please, they don't exist anymore.
Yeah, because that's a lot. That's around. Let's see. Okay. The next thing is
you might want to run.
Pressure.
Okay. The next question that they had for the creative camp. We're on question 204. Okay, we're almost wrapping up here. Question 204. We got a ways to go still.
Yo, Billy, hang on.
Yeah.
You guys want to see something fun?
Let's hear it.
Hang on.
All the DVDs you stole?
Hang on.
Yeah.
Wait, hang on. I think you guys can see it. Hang on. All right.
Wait, let me get it up on the.
Oh,
okay.
Fog button.
Yeah, the fog button.
Stick
Fog
your
machine.
face in it.
Are you pressure cooking the ribs? Is that what's going
for the
on?
percolator.
Hang on. With the ribs, you gotta pressure cook the ribs first, and then you air fry them. So you pressure cook them for 30 minutes, get them all nice and
smoker
moist, and then you air fry them for 15 minutes. Anyway, I just wanted to let you guys hear that. That was some ASMR. Bye.
I feel like he should have had to turn a knob before that smoke flew out.
Hey guys, real quick, we have not done any call outs for like an hour. So let me do something real quick. Let me just do some call outs real quick because I really appreciate everybody in chat. Not trying to ignore you. Just when we get heavy in conversation, it happens. Brooklyn, thank you so much for the biddies. I appreciate that. J-Dub Skills all night. You know what I'm talking about. Aiden gifted a tier 1 sub. Appreciate that, man. Gifted 2 tier 1 subs. What are you doing, man? Thank you so much. Let's see what else we got in here. J-Dub all night again. Mistake 916. Thank you so much. Let's see. And then coming in with the follows, Scott and Renib. What up? Appreciate you. Dmca, what up? J420SF, welcome. Fisher P, I left the name. Thank you for following. Kgog Liano, what up? Lauren Stefan, thank you so much. Vaguely Euphemistic, amazing name, welcome. DJ Immaculate, thanks for the follow. Beat Basher Music, appreciate you chiming in.
Lauren's my girl.
What's up, Lauren?
Wait, hang on. Do you guys want to say hi to Lauren?
Hi, Lauren. Thank you for following. Appreciate it.
Hey.
That's good stuff. Let's see. Bobby Promo, thanks for the follow. DJ Steve Miller, what up? Thanks for the follow.
Hey, what up, Miller?
Buddha's Evil. I like that. Oh, no, Bud has evil. I think it's Buddha as evil. That's dope. Abby Normal Brain. That's fucking dope. Abby Normal. What you guys know about Abby Normal Brain?
Abby
That's
something.
a Young Frankenstein
Abby,
reference right there.
Yeah.
Abby Normal. That's it.
Oh, we got a hype train going. Oh, snap. Jesus Louise.
shit.
Clever Gal with 100 biddies. XXX ICY. Oh, yo. What's up? 100 biddies. 500 bits. Got 5 on it. Thank you. Meta Pattern throwing a hundo. Strobe gifting a T1. Too much love, y'all. Big up.
Is that the smooth echo?
I wish.
No, yeah, Barry White echo.
I'm gonna be completely
White
honest.
echo.
I'm a tractor guy, so I didn't know what that was. When someone said smooth echo, I thought that made your voice sound like Michael McDonald. Be like, yo, ready to go. I had no idea.
That'd be awesome.
Smooth echo. Barry White voice. Let's see. Whiskey Fargo, 100 bits. Joshua Carl, thank you so much. Meta Pattern, thanks so much. Warlock Fitty, man, y'all are too nice. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love right now.
All the love.
If it's your first time, we do this every Wednesday. It's called DJs Not DJing. We sit around, we talk some shop. For those of you that have been around the block, this is a lot like hanging out at the record shop back in the day. This is what we try to do. Dig into the deep topics, call
Billy, what
out
are
the hard
records?
stuff, and get nerdy
What are
because, you know, we're a bunch of fucking nerds. And right now we're talking about Twitch just dropping the DMCA hammer on streamers and what that means. And TLDR, you should very much be thinking about deleting all of your VODs and clips, and think about doing that before Friday at noon Pacific time, because Friday at noon Pacific time.
What
Specific
happened?
time?
Is there a date? What's
Yes, there is a
going on?
date.
Yeah. Oh,
Yesterday,
absolutely.
Twitch
This is
sent
the
out. This
first
is what
time
we've been
they gave
talking
a
about.
date.
Yesterday, Twitch sent out a notice saying to all streamers, it is in your best interest that if you are aware that you are violating DMCA through music, in other words, if you are playing music that is not yours on your stream, be it a DJ, be it GTA 5, be it anything, you need to go through your VODs and clips and very much consider deleting anything before Friday at noon Pacific time, because they are going to hit the switch and folks are going to start getting burnt. That's what they're basically saying.
And that's where they
Kinda
offset
like
the
those
blame
ribs.
too.
Kinda like
That's
those
where they
ribs.
offset the blame.
Those ribs
too.
are not burnt, bro.
Yeah.
Yo, you guys,
The
wait,
fuck?
hang on.
They're
You guys look at this?
fucking mutilated.
Because I'm redoing it. I'm about to air fry them, so I'm like just re-saucing them up. Like I feel like I'm Andy Milonakis right now. Does anybody follow Andy Milonakis?
I do.
He like every morning makes omelets, and he has like 8,000 people watching him make omelets.
You remind me of the
Goals.
reanimator. Because you're trying to reanimate them ribs that you just destroyed.
Destroyed with the pressure cooker. No, you don't even
And a
know.
smoker.
Yo, I can
Triggered.
co-sign.
That's the white people ribs, bro.
We
White
use
people
that.
ribs.
All right, let's not go there. Let's not go there. All right, so
Sorry, let's not go.
Hey, I got lots of spice in my life.
all right, so
No, it actually
next,
looks pretty
the
good.
next,
I'm hating. I'm
the next thing we got to get through this because we're running close. The next thing, this is gonna be a quick answer. The question was, is there a legal way for us to play licensed music on our streams? And the answer for most streamers is if you don't care about what's being played. In other words, if you're not trying to play a specific song and you need music in the background, there are tons of options right now. Our man Harris Heller, that everybody probably has seen a YouTube video or two, has been pushing his stream beats for a minute. Free plug for him there. And there are all kinds of resources out there. Literally use the Google and you can find streaming
Google.
services.
The Google.
On the Foxfire.
And use the Lycos
Put it out
and
there on the line.
use the web crawler and you'll find it. And
I'll watch it the first time.
on top of it, and this is part of Twitch's action phase, on top of it, Twitch has just rolled out their soundtrack feature for streamers, and it's like a little Spotify client that you plug in to your OBS, and you can play music that they have licensed through that client, and it is not only ready to not be stricken down over a DMCA because they've received the licensing for it, but it also comes across as its own audio track that you can choose to mute later on in the VOD. So you can actually disable all of the music coming from soundtrack and use just the voice audio or whatever you were using as a feature. And they also have all kinds of overlay things where you can click on the song that's playing and it'll go to your streaming software of choice and you can add the song to your playlist and things like that. Point is, absolutely
Entity says
none of
soundtrack is
that.
terrible.
None of that is useful for DJs.
None of it.
None of it. Unless you're like going through the library and adding those as like a playlist in your Serato of like the songs that you can like legally play in your sets.
I'm walking on sunshine.
Unless you like purposely like hack the soundtrack and like go in and just play nothing but the background music as your DJ set.
What are they gonna give us?
That's it.
Like nothing's free, bro. What are they gonna give us?
It'd be interesting to do that, but do live remixes with it.
Right? Yeah, just put some Aiden choppage over some like back.
20th century ass shit. Hang on.
Go ahead, Aiden. What you got to say?
Can I address the chat room real quick?
Let's do it.
Your mom's. I think that's what it is. Your mom's.
Yep, that's Aaron. That's homie. She's awesome.
Talked about Suvaim. So right now, like you guys think I'm not a cook. Like right now, like check this out. Like right here, I have a picanha cut that's 24 hours through a 48-hour soak right now that we're going to eat tomorrow for dinner.
Okay.
So it's going to be a 48-hour soak, 48-hour sous vide picanha. Good shit.
Okay.
Can you like send some of that across the? I can start driving now. I think I'll get there in time.
Good.
Right? What's up, Cantos? Welcome. Thanks for chiming in, brother. Big up Mike Airstrike. Actually, I take that back. No big ups for Mike Airstrike.
Mike.
Average size ups for Mike Airstrike.
Yeah. You want to talk about the most wild Discord ever?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
No, I got a kind of a random question. Do you guys remember that thing that Pioneer dropped a couple years ago when they first came out with the DDJs, which was the like the track list uploading like USB feature?
Kuvo.
Thank you.
Yeah. Kuvo is promising. That was them in the beginning of trying to create a registry so that we can properly document what's being played and give artists their praises due. And they used it as under the guise of creating. They wanted to create their own social network, is what they were trying to do, and they wanted to have DJs be able to post their playlists and have a DJ camaraderie from within the Pioneer DJ ecosystem. But what they didn't realize was that for DJs by DJs doesn't work, because when you have a whole bunch of DJs and nothing else, it only goes so far, i.e. Mixcloud, right?
Right. Or Mixer.
Or Mixer, right. So, you know, that went that way that it went. But it was a good intention. I called it out.
Like the technology for it would be sort of a potential solution on the back end for us.
Yep. And that's the thing right now is all of this innovation is coming in and something is going to stick eventually, right? Everyone, and it's not going to be the original innovation that makes it. It's going to be somebody taking that idea and putting it into putting the systems into place for them and it becoming successful. So go ahead.
I thought that Pioneer service was like that. You remember back when there was a little while back where we were talking about the Serato playlist thing, right? Yeah. And I thought that was where they were trying to take something similar to that to the next level. So like I'll paste mine in the chat I haven't used Serato a long time, but there's like 8 years of track list of everything I've ever DJ'd in Serato ever on that page. And I thought that, you know, originally when they put that shit out, I was super excited about it. And then it kind of turned into, well, that's not really how it works. Cause I was looking for the next level of what I put in the chat room, which is what you were saying, Billy, right? The social media and just kind of growing it and interacting it. And then, you know, but you had to go to a club that supported it. There was all these, I don't even want to get into it, but yeah, man, that's exactly what I was kind of looking for. And it just kind of never came to fruition. It was unfortunate.
At one point in time, Richie Houghton had something that was spitting out his entire set list as it played to Twitter. I remember.
He still has that.
He still has it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what this does. So my link in the chat room there is the exact same thing. I can show you how to turn that on. That's available, and that's been available in Serato since SL1 days. You could turn that on live track listing way back then. I think I have some that are. I don't know the oldest.
If you're not using it yet, there's an app called Serato Now Playing. You tether that to your Serato playlist. So you click Start Playlist in Serato, and then you point the Now Playing app to a text file, and that's how you populate your screen.
That
with-
train spotter, we talked about that a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. That train
Yeah,
spotter
train
bot thing looks
spot.
really good. Or
Yeah.
train
Oh,
spotter.
you can do that with
Train
Serato?
bot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Train spotter.
It'll
Well, there's
output to a
three
live file or online, whatever you want. I really, really miss that about Serato. Yeah, looking at mine, it's got a decade worth of playlists here.
Yeah,
Like I said, I just miss
Somebody
this
type
so much.
somebody type exclamation point ID into my chat and see what you get. It's an amazing
Yeah,
reply.
so you got that working on. I tried to get that working, but that's a 6.0 only. So
Back off.
the what was it called again? The train spotter, Billy, right?
Yep. Train
two.
spotter
There's-
with a B. Train spotter. Botter.
Train
Train
spotter.
spotter,
Yeah.
and then the other one is called Serato Now Playing. That's what I use.
Yeah, I can't get the record box one because I don't have 6.0. So the one we were looking at didn't seem like it's going to work.
Somebody turn your radio off.
Aiden.
That was me. Sorry.
You're fine. Okay, question 3 of 4. We're doing good. What if I was given public approval to play their music from the actual artist themselves? What if the artist is on Instagram saying, "Play my music, I don't care"? What do you guys think the answer to that is?
Nope.
Nope.
So fine.
We won't have the
Artists
rights
don't
to do it.
The artists don't own the
Publishing.
music.
Publishing. Thank you very much. The
Publishing.
answer is no. That is not okay. It's like somebody, it's like a real estate agent saying, "You can go ahead and just live in this house because I don't own it, but I have this thing attached to it, so you can go ahead and live here." It's not how it
Literally,
works.
if somebody
Waters
owns 1% publishing, they can claim it.
Exactly. And so the point here is, folks, is that even if you have artist XYZ, like I'll tell you right now, I would absolutely love for people to play my music in their streams. I don't give a shit. I think it's amazing. I obviously understand the promotional aspect of it. I understand the camaraderie of it. And I understand if you don't want to play it because it's garbage. Like I get all of that, right? Totally. Give it the axe. But the thing is that I am not the only owner of my music. We talked about that earlier. I'm ultimately one of the rights holders is Sony, because in order for me to get my music as an independent artist out to Spotify, in order for you able to say, Siri, play some Billy Lane, and you have a decent chance of some of my music coming up on your phone, that was what I was working towards a couple of years ago. And because I have received that publishing on the music, I'm getting muted, right? And because I'm not a complete rights holder, I'm not a sole rights holder of the music. So the answer to that question is absolutely not, unless they are 100% the owner of their masters. In that case, you are still not completely exempt from receiving a strike. And I'll get into it for the fourth and final question. Perfect time. The fourth
So unless you're 21 Savage.
That's your 21 Savage, right? The fourth and final question is, what do I do if I receive a DMCA notification that I feel I was incorrectly sent? In other words, I own the rights to this music, or I absolutely 100% feel like I have the ability to play this music, or any kind of scenario where you feel like you are legally allowed to play the content that they're not striking, it's a bad word, but they are flagging, they're sending you a notification on. And the answer is always dispute. Always dispute. And if you don't know what the answer, there's always going to be, when you dispute, you have the ability to say, I'm disputing this because I own the music. I'm disputing this because the rights holders gave me permission to use the music, or I'm disputing this because I have free use. Okay, those are usually your three options that you can choose. If you don't know which one to choose free use. And let me get a little bit further into this. Okay, I'll explain to you how DMCA works. Let's say I really don't like Aiden Scott. Let's say I don't like the guy. Okay.
Horrible example.
Let's all pretend that.
Let's all try really hard to pretend that right now. I have the ability right now, just like anybody else in the world, to go over to Aiden's streams and make a DMCA claim on one of his mixes on a particular song, saying that I own that song, even if I don't. We just lock up.
If anybody does that, if anybody in the 916 Junglist family does that, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for your firstborn.
Hang on, guys. My camera's coming back. Hang on. All right. So so here's how it works. Okay, here's how the DMCA process works. I have the ability to make a claim on anybody's music, just like you do, just like anybody in the Zoom does. We can all make a DMCA claim, and there is no burden of proof for us to do that. When you make the claim, it doesn't say, who are you? Prove to me who you are. It says, oh shit, you need to make a claim? Okay, let's go through the work. We're going to make this claim, sending it off to the user, and the user at that point has to respond. And it is the responsibility of the user to respond before the person making the claim has to have the burden of proof. In other words, they don't have to prove themselves until somebody disputes. Does that make sense? Yep. So if I don't like Aiden, trying really hard right now to pretend, I have to... I can troll him with these DMCA claims. I can straight up troll his channel by constantly hitting him with these DMCA claims, and it is up to him to dispute them in order to put that burden of proof onto me. Does that make sense? And until that point, I don't have to prove who I am.
I was really curious to who was hitting me with these fucking violations.
Always
now
me.
I know.
Always me.
Sam Goody. Yeah.
I'm doing it to all y'all motherfuckers.
They played the long game.
Right? Yeah, don't troll Aiden Scott, please. Let me just put that up on them. There you go.
Or do it in a fun way. I don't care.
No, but that is something that I think is a misunderstanding when it comes to like the roles that we all play in this DMCA thing. We think that as soon as we receive a DMCA notice from that looks nice. As soon as we see a DMCA notice from a label, like say Sony hits me up and says you cannot play this music, we immediately assume that it's Sony that's doing that, and it's more than likely not. It's either a troll who is hating on you, probably not that either, or it's a company whose sole job is to find people doing this and make money for rights holders as a third-party entity. They go out and they find all these violations. They generate a nice little proposal to publisher X and say, look at all this money we found for you on Twitch. Pay us this much money, and all that money can be yours, right? They're a third party, like a lawyer in the middle, or a third party representative.
Ambulance chaser, basically.
Ambulance chaser, exactly. And those honestly are the real thieves in the music industry, because they are actually stealing money from artists, because a lot of the times they will falsely represent an artist and make revenue from a DMCA claim when they are not the actual rights holders of the music, and it's fucking wrong. And all that's going to change. I know it's going to change. We've been arguing about it. This is something that's older than Twitch, and it's going to change.
Oh, since the 90s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so right now we're in this weird growing pain stage, and so we're it's a wild west, and we should all be excited, man. Like a couple of years from now, we can look back on this and be like, remember in the beginning of this, how it was compared to the way that it is now, and how we were kind of speculating on how it was going to be. This is what we got right, this is what we got wrong, and all that stuff. Like, we're going to talk about this, you know what I mean? If we're still doing this, I'm going to be still doing it. And it's awesome, man. I think this is an exciting time to be in. And I don't think Twitch has it. I don't think Twitch wants to ban us too. I said this in the last episode about DMCA. It is not in Twitch's interest to just fucking blanket ban all of us for violating their shit, because we're making them so much money that it doesn't make any sense for them to do that right now. If they were going to drop the hammer, like someone said earlier, they would just drop the hammer on Twitch as a service completely, right?
Yeah.
So
just axe it.